Hello, my friends. I hope this finds you on this day living with some joy and ease in your heart and your being. Last week, we started to explore what it is to practice in a way that nourishes the summer season. And we looked specifically at the meridians of the heart and small intestine that run through the arms. And we did a yin yoga practice that targeted that. And I gave teachings on how to keep the heart afloat as we looked at the Brahma Viharas of loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. Keep finding myself this week calling upon those qualities, and I hope you have too. Well, it's still summer, and I thought we would continue on that theme in both a yin and active class. And we'll look a little bit more at our lifestyle choices because, as we move through the seasons, things change. They change externally and they change internally. And really, it is a time always to pay attention. And we know, like in the wintertime, it gets, in most of for those of us that are tuning in our climates, it's cold. And it asks us to warm ourselves, to eat foods that are warming, to do warming movement, excuse me, to do warming practices and to do use warm oils on ourselves. Well, we're moving into summer, and here in the northern hemisphere, it's warm and sometimes hot. In fact, that's that element of heat. And so to bring balance to the heat, it's not about cold, but it's about cooling. And our foods begin to change, even, right? When we live in harmony with nature, which really is what our practices are about, living in harmony with nature. And I love this Dr. Scott Blossom. He's a lovely Ayurvedic doctor. He says to put your health in service of your values. So that really asks me to see what my values are. And my values are about living in harmony and living from a heart that is kind. And so to live in harmony with nature, nature is warm. And to do that, and so that balance stays inside my own body and my mind and my heart, I want to do practices and eat in a way that nourishes that. And so I thought I'll share a little bit about that with you this morning or today, whenever it is that you're watching. I feel like you're right here with me. Anyway, um, let's just look at food for a moment. There's such a bounty of fresh vegetables and berries and fruits, and really nature says here, enjoy. And so I think we're meant to do that. We're meant to do that and eat in a lighter way because, and not in a heated way, right? So maybe we're not making those soups and stews, but I find myself eating more raw foods. Um, and I often don't eat a breakfast. I eat later in the day. I do some more of the intermittent fasting. That's really up to you, of course. What you do bring more harmony and balance? And that's always the question. We can only, as teachers, even as doctors, present something to someone, and then it is up to each of us to apply it and watch how I feel about it. Watch how you feel about it. That's the same in our practices. Here's a practice, do it, and notice how you feel. Is it in alignment? Do you feel more open? What is your effects? Excuse me. And so we look at food, and the day starts early in the summer, and so the sun is inviting us, wake up early if you can. Wake up early, and even before you get out of bed, take a few moments to check in. It's like a little meditation right in your bed to check in with how you feel, to align with what's important for you for the day. Sometimes I like to take my refuge right there in my bed, reminding myself what's important, right? And then we typically would, go and take care of ourselves, do what you need to, but you might neti, do a little nasal wash, do a little nasal oiling, nasaya. These little practices that help to bring the body into balance, right? Have some, when it's still cool in the morning, is really a great time to do a more active practice, right? We may start even in bed with a few yin poses. That's what I like to do. And then do more of an active practice while it's still cool out. That's really the idea, not to create an overly heated system in the mid of the day when the heat is high. Okay. And then be mindful when it's time for breakfast. If you're eating breakfast, be mindful of how you're eating, how you're chewing. Chew well. It's important, right? And while you're eating mindful and you're chewing really well, try to do it in such a way that you're not distracted. We're not checking our phone or watching the screen, right? Eat while you're eating. Think about your day and think about the blessings of the food that you received, right? And eat regularly rather than snacking all day. I know can be a grazer, right? But it serves me much better when I eat my meals, right? And then we've learned, many of you have learned, and I've learned that dinner really is a light meal because then later on we're going into the sleep and the body is harder to digest. So these are ways to work with our food, right? And then, as I said, early morning exercise is really wonderful. And here's a great thing to help balance the heat. When you take your shower at the end, take a nice cool or even cold rinse, right? Because that helps with any inflammation in the body and helps to cool the system down. Hmm. And then there are our rituals. So I'll talk more about that. So that's just a way. And then in our practice, we do more of a cooling practice. Sometimes that involves making sure you get some forward bends in because forward bends can be cooling for the system. If you're doing a sun salutation rather than picking up the heat, do it nice and slow and rhythmic. So let's take all that information into our practice, okay? So if you would find your seat, sitting at the edge of a blanket or a cushion, and just draw the fleshy part of the buttocks back. Take a moment with the eyes still open to take a look around you. Just take in your surroundings. Take in the life that is presenting itself to you. Not being separate. Everything is filled with life and energy, prana. Mm. And then please, if it's comfortable for you, allow the eyes to close. And as you do that, drawing the attention inward to take just a few breaths. Mm. And feel yourself here, grounded. Mm. And as you feel yourself, feel into the physical body, and you simply notice what's here today as an interesting inquiry or investigation. Nothing to judge. Just really meeting yourself so intimately. If we don't do that, then how do we know what it is that is needed? And if we don't do that, how do we know if our actions were wise and skillful or not? So we feel where we are again and again. Notice the quality of the breath, the energy inside you, the energy that you are, in fact, the quality of the mind and the heart, the emotional terrain. And recognize the part of you that is aware, the witness of it all. And just for a few moments, just take a few breaths before we take our refuge, our vows, to feel the belly, to feel the heart, with an invitation as you breathe for them to open, be spacious. You might even feel the breath growing longer as you stay with that belly and heart widening and opening as an invitation, not a forcing. And as you do that, as you meet any tension, just invite a relaxation. It's a way of caring for ourselves. You might remember that the emotional qualities here for the summer are both love, but at the other end of it, when really heated, can turn to hate. So those two sides. So let's find and keep finding those places that turn us into the love and turn us to the love. Mm. And so let's cultivate our motivation by aligning with that place that is awake and whole, the inner sanctuary. So if these words resonate, you can just repeat them out loud or repeat them to yourself silently. So from now until I fully awaken, I vow to take refuge in loving awareness, my true home. And then take a moment to touch into that place that is home, already awake, loving awareness. But then naturally we stumble and we fall. We're human. And so from now until I fully awaken, I vow to take refuge in the path of loving awareness, the road that leads me home. And as you say that to yourself, you might remind yourself of the practices and teachings that call you home. And it might be as simple as stop, take a breath. And then because we are communal beings, we thrive in relationship. From now until I fully awaken, I vow to take refuge in the Sangha, my teachers, my friends, my spiritual family, those who aspire to live awake and free. You might feel all those beautiful beings in your life. And then feel as you're doing all of this and drawing all of this, what it feels like inside you to remind yourself what is of a value, what is of value to you. Mm. And then to arouse that awakened heart, the bodhicitta. I remind myself that from now until all suffering is experienced as liberation, I will bring benefit and happiness to all beings, my inseparable family, omitting none. because we are so inter, we so inter are, interbeing. Mm. And before we sit a little bit in meditation, let's do a little pranayam or a breathing practice that is a cooling practice. So this helps to balance both hemispheres of the brain and brings a cooling to the system. And we'll do this alternate nostril. So taking your right hand, and we're using the thumb and the ring finger, take your right thumb on your right nostril, and then just take 3 to 5 breaths, gently, smoothly, breathing up and down and in and out the left side. Let your awareness just follow this smooth, rhythmic breath. At the top of the next inhale, close the left nostril with the ring finger, release the right, exhale. And then do 3 to 5 breaths in and out through the right side. Bring your awareness to the right side and how the breath flows in and out and up and down along the right side. You might imagine like a column along the central channel, and then on either side. At the top of the next breath, close the left, release the right, exhale. At the bottom, allow the inhale to happen. At the top, you close, you release the opposite, and exhale. Continue in this way, inhaling through one side, closing, releasing the other side. We'll do that for a few moments. And let your awareness just simply follow the breath as it comes and goes. And the next time you exhale from the left nostril, let that be your final round. Your hand can come back to rest on your legs or your lap. And as you take a breath in and out, feel the effect of Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril, balancing breath. And as we continue to sit, simply notice the quality of the breath. Some are short, some long, but just allowing them to naturally arise and pass. Let this be a place to take rest, to take refuge, to let this resting with breath just call you home again and again. And by, you will naturally notice the mind gets distracted, or there's a sensation in the body, or you hear a sound. And none of this is a problem. If you find yourself lost in it, then you just notice, thinking is happening. Let's come back to the breath. Let's come home. The same for sound. Everything just comes and goes. So by and by, you just come back to the breath. And you might rest your breath on the belly as it rises and falls. For some of us, we're more aware of it in the chest area, the ribs, as it expands and contracts. And for some of us, we're most aware of it right in the nostrils as we breathe in and out. And then some of us are just most aware we can rest most easily with the whole body breath. So you make your choice without going through any struggle with it, and you rest there. You might discover that the careful attention to breath calms the body, calms the mind. And as Thich Nhat Hanh encourages us, instructs us, he would ask us to just silently whisper to your own heart, as I breathe in, I am calmed. As I breathe out, I am calmed. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I am calmed. Breathing out, I'm calmed. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. So for the next few moments, rest with the phrases. A gentle whisper of a phrase to call you back. And simply allow the phrases to fall away and feel into the effects of sitting in that way. The quality now in the body, mind, and heart. And if you'd like to join me, let's bring our hearts and our voices together with the sound of Om. So please, taking in a breath. Om. Hari Om Shanti. Peace. Jai Bhagwan, everyone. Namaste. So just take a moment to let your body release a little bit from sitting before we do our yin pose for the day. And then if you would find your way down onto the earth on your back. As you do that, bring your feet to standing. Take your hands behind the back of your head, lift your head just an inch or two, and allow the neck to grow long as your head grows heavy. And then release the back of the skull to the earth. Bring your upper arms close to the torso, bend at the elbows with the fingertips towards the sky, and just gently press one elbow down and draw the shoulder blade down the back, and then the other. And then let your shoulder blades spread. And then just take a moment, then you feel the natural arc in the neck. And bring your awareness down towards the sacral area and the lower back, and notice if there's a big arc or a small arc, and then just a little tipping. So as you slide the sacrum down, you'll feel the lower back flatten, and as you exhale, gently rock it the other way and a little arc. So we're not lifting it off, but just feel that little cat and dog tilt without lifting the hips off. And the lower back flattens and then arcs. We all have a tendency to one. And then find the place in the middle. So that means your sacrum's on the ground. There's a small arc. For those of us who are bigger dog tilters, it'll feel more like a cat tilt. And if you're more where your back naturally flattens, it'll feel like a dog tilt. So just find the natural place, though. There's a small arc, and these are the natural curves in the spine. And then feel it just grow long from your tailbone to your crown. And for our our only pose, actually, our only yin pose, we'll do knee down twist, or lying down twist in the yin language. So extend your arms in a T position or in cactus arms. Lift your hips and shift them to the left. Drop down onto your right hip. Extend the right leg. Bring your left foot standing right above the right knee, and then roll over onto your right hip. The left arm can extend out to the side, or if you want a little more in the arm, which will get those meridians, extend it. And then take your right hand gently resting on the outside of your left leg. And so they're moving in opposite directions. The left knee to the right, left shoulder down. And the head then can either look up or towards the left. And so you find the place that feels appropriate. And that will change, obviously, right? If that means any more too much, any less not enough. And then to scan and feel that the body, the muscles are passive. So it doesn't mean that you don't feel the muscles, but we're not engaging them, right? So let your awareness scan around and see if you're over efforting, and relax. Like in the arm, are you reaching in that arm, or can you just let it relax? There's a natural twist, but we're not over twisting. It naturally happens. But by and by, the edges do soften, and you might find yourself just moving in a little more to the next edge. And we stay a while. We stay a while to really target the connective tissues, the bones, but also in a contemplative way. We stay a while and stay present for ourselves. And of course, breath can always be a companion. So come into a silky, smooth, long breath. And you might notice how things soften more and more as you stay with that. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I am calmed. And here we get to recognize impermanence, how things in the body and things in the mind and the heart, all the conditions are changing. And so we learn that grasping onto any of it is quite futile, right? That all that does is create more tension and trying to push something away that is unpleasant, same, because then we are caught in the grasping or the pushing away. And so when we see that, we can name it. It always is helpful to become so self aware. And then we can name things for what they are rather than getting caught in the story, the loop of something that may have happened or an experience or a sensation. Things can be pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And here, this lovely pose is good for all seasons, but here, when we extend the arm, of course, it helps target the heart and the small intestine. And here, in this twisting pose, it also is so wonderful for the whole digestive system. Some further rituals we can incorporate that through our day we can pause every half hour and take 3 long breaths. Pause every half hour. And of course, we listen to our body. So, whatever it is that we do, we notice every action has a result. And then we get to know, was this a wise and skillful action? Mm. And then, the summer, the organ of the summer is actually the tongue. It responds to our speech. And so it's wise to practice skillful speech. And so as you move through your day, you can ask yourself before you speak, is what I am about to say true? That knocks out a lot of things right there. Is it kind? And is it helpful? Is it conducive to harmony? Is it the right time? And then, of course, because we're practicing awareness, self awareness, we become aware when our language and our speech deviates. Let's take another breath or two here. And to release the right hand, release the left knee, let the hips roll back. Step into that left foot and shift your hips back to the center. Extend the left leg and pause for a moment. Listen to the body. Feel the effects. And now step into the right foot. Press in, lift your hips and shift them to the left. You're more on your left buttocks or hip. Take your right foot on top of your left leg. Take a breath and roll over onto your left hip now as you extend the right arm either out to the side or up near the ear, and the left hand rests on the right leg. Again, you find the appropriate pressure. You scan and relax what is not needed. And we stay a while. You know, and you breathe. So really our practice is stepping into the pool of contemplative inquiry. And the purpose of practice really is transformation. Transformation of the mind and the heart. And in this way we soothe and the mind and keep it awake, relaxed and alert. Hmm. So as we're here, where every practice has a beginning and a middle and an end, and actually it's all practice. All of our life is practice. We're not perfect, but there are rituals and particular practices we do to help bring more harmony and balance to our mind and our heart and our body and our life, really, because then we have that inner balance here inside us, then it shows up in our communication, right, in our lives. And so we spoke about how to begin the day. And while we're not ending the day yet, just to speak a little bit about an evening way to practice. Right? Sometimes, because in Ayurveda it's spoken of a pitta, and pitta sometimes has, if you stay up too late, you get that second wave of waking up. And so we're looking to unwind at the end of the day. One of the ways, of course, is that electronic time to shut off, right? Dr. Blossom calls it electronic sunset. We all are electronics, that we just have a time. You choose when that is, maybe after dinner or a few hours before to going to bed, right? And it also, one of the lovely things to do is when the moon comes out, to just take a little moon bath. Maybe you could go take a little walk. It's very cooling, right? Or maybe just step outside and bask in the moonlight, the cooling moonlight. And perhaps before you go to bed, rinse or kind of rest your feet in a cool water and dry them off and give them a little massage, right? A little soothing massage. So all the ways that we can bring the system and calm it and cool it. Mm. And be here for another minute or so. The breath long and silky smooth. You might like to bring your breath right to the abdomen. And as you inhale, visualize it streaming down under the root, up along the back of the spine, over the crown to the third eye. And pause there for 2 counts. And as you exhale, visualize it flowing down the front of the spine, right back down to that second center right below the navel. Pause 2 counts, 1 Om, 2 Om. And continue just a few more breaths in that way. Down under, looping up along the back of the spine, over the crown to the third eye, and pause. And as you exhale, down along the front of the spine to the second center, and pause. Last breath. And then release the pose by releasing the hand, feeling the body find its way back to the center. Shift your hips and notice how you feel. Hmm. And then please just draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice hug and let the body respond in any way it might need to right now. Perhaps a little rocking side to side or rolling your hips. Listen. Listen to your body and just ask it for a moment what it needs right now. Mm, mm. And then please roll over to one side. Pause for a moment. And then find your way up to sitting and then onto your hands and knees. So if you need a blanket, please take a blanket and spread it under your knees. Mm. And come into the table. So that would bring your knees right over your feet over I'm sorry, your knees over your feet and your hands under your shoulders. Mm. I'm sorry. Not your knees over your feet. Your hips over your knees. What a moment. And your shoulders over your hands. Okay. And then gently just press your buttocks back to your heels. Press into your hands and just wobble a little bit from side to side. And then let your torso come down as you reach through one side and then the other. Just this gentle little cat like stretch. Hmm. And you might like to walk your hands and your torso over to the right a little bit and reach through the left arm. And let the breath be long and full and just feel the body kind of undulate a little bit there. Hmm. And then walk it back to the center and then over to the left as you stretch, particularly through the right side. Maybe there's a little twisting or undulating. Really listening what's needed. Mm. And then back to the center. Take a look at your hands. See that their shoulders width apart, the wrists align with the front of your mat. Draw the shoulder blades on the back. As you inhale, roll the spine up with a rounded spine. And then lift the sitting bones. Lift the head, drop the belly. And as you exhale, take it back. So we're going into that inhale, big cat stretch, right into dog stretch. Exhale back. So now find the rhythm of your breath and just do that a few times. One more time. And then pause back in your extended child. And then please again walk your hands away. Come up onto your hands and knees. Draw your shoulders back. Tuck your toes under. Lift the knees. Press back into a little downward dog. Keep your knees bent. Hmm. Just let a little movement happen there. Quiet, organic. Then press into your hands, send your hips back. Lift the sitting bones up. Drop the heels towards the earth. Take a few breaths there. Then look between your hands and just walk your feet up. Dangle down over your legs. I recommend keep the knees soft. Keep your belly on your thighs. Take hold of the elbows if you like. And take a few breaths and see where you can soften a little bit. Forward folds are cooling and calming to the system. And then release your hands, soften the knees, lengthen your spine. You can bring your hands right on your top knees and draw the spine back up to the center. Feel yourself grounded and long. Mm. Mm. And notice how you feel. And then please bring your hands. Bring your hands in prayer. Okay. As you inhale, sweep the arms down. Sun breath all the way around. Lengthen and lift up. And as you exhale, draw it into your heart. As you inhale, sweep it down, circle it, slide the sacrum down, lift the heart. And as you exhale, draw it into the heart. One more time. Let's take that into a gentle little half sun salutation. So even if we do a full sun salutation, just gently and softly so it's cooling, right? Not so heating. Okay. And then inhale. Circle the arms again. As you exhale, sweep the arms, hinge at the hips, and bow down and touch the earth. As you inhale, rise up halfway. Slide your hands up along the shins. And as you exhale again, dive down. As you inhale, soft knees, long spine, sweep the arms, circle it. And as you exhale, bring it back to the heart. Let's do it again. Circle the hands. Exhale, dive the heart, bow to the day, and touch the sacred ground. As you inhale, lift the heart forward, rise up halfway. And as you exhale, once again, touching down. As you inhale, soft knees, long spine. Rise up. And again, back to the heart. Pause and feel what it is to greet the day, to salute the sun, to honor it, in fact. And then please open your eyes. And we'll find our way down. So inhale once again. And as you exhale, hinge. And this time, soften your knees, come into a squat. Pause there in the squat for a moment. And bring your hands down and come to sitting. And as you sit at the edge of a blanket or a cushion for most of us, unless you're very flexible in there, right? Very open in the hips. So you might find different heights work best, right? So as you find your way there, forgive me, come into what we call Dandasana. It's like the mountain of sitting, right? So we're grounded and long. You can bring your hands out to the side, just kind of plug into the earth and extend the legs. For some of us, bending the knees a little bit allows for the hinge at the hips that we need for forward folds, and that's what we're going to do now. And then take your left foot and bring it in along the inside of your right leg. I like to then take my left hand on the outside of the right leg and right hand behind me, and then just lift and shift that right hip back a little bit. So that then brings me facing over the leg. Okay? The left knee presses down. Your foot can be on the inside of the thigh, and for some of you who are even more open, you can take that left heel to the inside of your left groin, right? And here there is a little energy in the leg, even if the knee is bent, okay? As you inhale, lengthen the arms up. And as you exhale, scoop the abdomen, hinge at the hips, and reach, reach, reach all the way out. And then release the hands, let the spine round, head drop. As you inhale, roll the spine up, sweep your hands along the leg, along the torso, reach it up. And as you exhale, reach those hands out like a ball of energy, reaching out, your heart following, and then all the way down, and then roll it up. Do that one more time on your own. And then on this next time, let's come in, stop halfway, extend the arms now, and feel the front body grow even longer. Let the heart reach towards the foot. And then when the belly meets the thighs, bring your hands onto the floor or on the leg or hold the foot. Draw the shoulders back if you can so the front body can lengthen a little more. And as you inhale, feel the front body grow long. And as you exhale, scoop the abdomen and ease your way in, breath by breath. Send the sitting bone back a little bit and the heel away, and come into that edge of sensation where you breathe and relax what you can. And just feel what's happening here in this body and the mind. Right? Feel where there's tension, where there's not, where you can relax a little bit. Mm. And keep relaxing what you can. And watch. Watch how the mind comes in. Watch any show of stories going on and just allow the things that come and go. Recognizing all conditions arise and pass. If tensions soften, you might ease in a little bit more. The way to grow deeper in forward folds is grow longer. Let's take another breath or two here and grow long. And then drop your head towards the knee in these last breath or two. And to release it, bring your hands to the earth and first just lengthen the spine. And then walk your hands back up. Lift the torso back up. Pause in the center. Notice what you feel. Then take your left foot to standing. And just hold around the left knee for a moment as you elongate the spine. And take your left foot, and it can either stay like this if that feels appropriate for you, but if you can, cross it over. Okay? Sometimes different bodies just don't allow for that to happen. And then you can lift and just shift your hips back a little bit again. And then hold on to the leg and again, lengthen your spine. And keeping your right hand now on the outside of your left knee, take your left arm and stretch it up and just bring it long behind you, somewhere in line with the spine, so it helps to keep the spine elongated but not leaning back, right? So you all know what spines look like. So let's create as much space between those vertebrae so it can twist with as much ease. And I like to begin with the hands so I'm not collapsing in the spine. So right now, just feel your breath. And as you breathe, notice how there's an expansion on the inhale and a softening on the exhale. And the next time you inhale again, you let the spine elongate. And as you exhale, begin to twist from the belly. Keep the head in the center. Don't twist it too quickly. And then breath by breath, lengthening and then twisting a little bit more from the ribs. You might notice on the inhale there's a little bit of an unwinding. And on the exhale, you can ease belly, ribs, and then chest as the left shoulder rolls back. And then belly, ribs, chest, and the head looks to the left. The eyes can even look to the left a little bit. And as you're there, close your eyes. Even if you're gazing to the left, close your eyes and feel. Feel how the breath moves the body, and then be moved a little bit as you ease in and out. Play in this pose as it invites you in, as you energize a little through the heel and the crown. Sometimes you take the forearm and wrap it around the leg if there's more space. So take another breath or two here, please, and really see where the body wants to go. And then to release, inhale, lift the back arm, and exhale, slowly unwind. As you come back to the center, just gently holding the left knee. Take a breath and feel where you are now. Take a few long breaths. Let the energy of that pose just move through the body. And then extend the left leg. And bring your right foot into the inside of the left thigh. We'll do that series on the other side. And then lift and shift the left hip back. Remember your left hand on the outside of the right leg and you shift it back. And once again, we'll do that little warming up with the pose, right? So as you inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, that's a dog tilt and a reaching out. And as you exhale, roll it down, roll it up. Inhale, lengthen. Let's do that again. Exhale, reach it out. And inhale, roll yourself back up. I'm sorry for that. Last time. And this time as you come in, find your way in. Close your eyes and feel your way into it. Feel how the breath moves you, where it is to stop. Where do the hands hold? Climb into this pose, Janu Shirshasana, head to knee. Make any little micro movements to find your way in. Really listen to the body. And then as you scan around in the body, relax. Relax where you can. Relax any unnecessary tensions in the body. Relax any thoughts that are calling you away from the moment. This is time. Every moment is sacred. We get to feel our lives, how our external lives are affecting our inner lives. In these last few moments, kind of wriggle your way into your full expression of the pose. And then release in your own way as you inhale up. As you come to sitting pause, maybe there's a little movement that's needed. And then let's just flow into our twist, taking the right foot either standing next to the leg or crossing over the leg with the right hand behind you and your left on your leg. Close your eyes and find your way into the pose. You might have a favorite way or just the way I guided you last time. But mostly it's about really listening inside and letting the wisdom of your body find you, take you into this twist. Your body will show you when it's time to pause and relax. The body will show you when it's time for more. It'll show you if you're pushing or striving. So meet yourself right where you are. Mm. Mm. Last few moments. See where your body wants to go. And then to release, as you inhale, lift the back arm and slowly unwind. Keep your eyes closed so you can really feel the unwinding. And then let your body respond. Maybe it does a little twist in the opposite direction. And then release the leg. And release your blanket that you're sitting on and find your way down to the earth. But do it in such a mindful way. Have what you need for relaxation near you, but we're not quite there yet. But as you find your way to the earth, let your body shift and move and stretch in any way it needs to. And then when you do get on the earth, draw your knees to your chest. And again, let a little rocking from side to side, or perhaps little circles with the knees. So listen deeply now. Ask what the body needs and let your body's wisdom show you and respond. Is there another pose that's needed? Or a little stretch? In fact, you can just ask, what is really needed right now? Hmm. And just follow the inner longing that will help to bring balance and harmony. Is what I am doing feel in balance? Does it feel in harmony with my inner and outer life? Mm. And then over the next few moments, invite whatever you're doing to come to completion. Set it as an intention. Mm. And then find your way to rest. If you have a blanket or a bolster for under the knees, or a thin blanket for the head, or perhaps something to cover you to be warm, I highly recommend placing something over the eyes, even if it's a yoga belt or the sleeve of a shirt or a shawl over your eyes, just something if you have it nearby. And let the arms either splay out by the side or bring your hands on your belly. And then just take 3 to 5 letting go breaths. Full breath in And as you exhale, you can open the mouth, let the jaw relax. Just let go. And with each exhaling breath, feel how the back body begins to soften to the earth. How the inner organs relax, the bones. And then let the breath just breathe you. Be breathed. As you rest here in the arms of the mother. You might even imagine it's the end of the day and you're resting under the light of the moon, the cooling light of the moon. And that light just fills your whole body. And you relax. The moonlight shines through every pore. And you rest here and allow whatever needs healing to be healed. Whatever arises can fall away. Trayambakam yajamahe Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarkameva bandhanam Mrityurmukshiyamamritat. Om Trayambakam yajamahe Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarkameva bandhanam Mrityurmukshiyamamritat. Swaha. As you hear the sound of the bell, just let that call your awareness back through the sense doors. You might hear, and you hear the sound of my voice and any other sounds around. Begin to let the breath deepen as a way of coming back to feeling your way into the body as you feel the body resting again on the earth. Perhaps the coolness of the air on your skin. And then gradually allow an organic way to let the body move and stretch and return from really a deep listening. Mm. And then over the next few moments, draw your knees into your chest if you haven't and roll over to one side. And take a moment there on your side, that pose, that fetal pose, to appreciate yourself, giving yourself this time, your dedication to living a life skillfully with love and wisdom. And then please press into your hands and rise back up to sitting. Come to sit at the edge of your blanket or cushion. Get grounded and grow long. Mm. And as you gently let the eyes close, just take 3 long, steady breaths. And feel where you are now. When those 3 have completed, let the doing of breath fall away. Mm. And as you just feel what you've received today, what you are aware of in this body and mind and heart. And as we traversed through listening a little bit more about summer and how to practice and what it is to live in harmony with nature, you might notice something that really stood out for you. Something you want to bring into your life. Mm. And then if you would dive in a little bit deeper to that voice that is already wise and awake and loves you no matter what. And from that place, hear your wisdom for today. Given all that's happened here, given my life, what is it I need to remember as I step back into the world? What is the wisdom for me? And then listen inwardly. It might be a word or a phrase. Repeat it back to yourself. And those of you who have pen and paper handy, you might want to write. Just take a few moments to let that be your reflection. As the voice tells you what you need to know. Mm. And now, please, a moment of gratitude. Gratitude to our time together, to all of our teachers that have inspired us, to all of the great sages that have walked the path before us. Mm. And may we dedicate the merit of our practice, all of that we have received, any wisdom, may it reach out to touch all hearts everywhere. May the merit of this practice swiftly bring all beings so that they might know happiness and the root of happiness. May all awaken, all beings, omitting none. And if you'd like to join me, we'll chant our dedicating mantra. Start with the sound of Om. Chant Loka Samasta Sukhino 3 times. And end with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So let's begin with the sound of Om. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all beings everywhere know peace and joy and love and light. May peace prevail. And if you like, bringing your hands in prayer at your heart and bowing to your own awakened heart and to each other. Jai Bhagwan Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I hope as you move through the summer, you start to just incorporate a few things that would help to bring balance and ease to this season. I'd love to hear from you, by the way. If you ever have any questions or just want to reach out, shoot me an email, brahmyoga@aol.com. And may you take care of yourself and may you take care of each other. Blessings to you, my friends.